Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Going over today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. The one starts at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We have 11 games in the slate for the Father's Day slate. And by the way, if anyone is a father watching this video, happy Father's Day, by the way. And anyway, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. We're getting pretty close to 1,000. I think we're at 930 right now. So really appreciate all the support of the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. That's just my Twitter name with the 16 at the end. If you want access to this cheat sheet, which we're going to go over, just shoot me a DM on there and I'll be happy to send it to you. And then let's get into the slate. So SP1 is going to be Trevor Bauer for me at 11,200. I always like righties versus Detroit, and Bauer can dominate this matchup. And the thing I love with him is his pitch count, so he gives us a nice floor. So most of these pitchers in today's game, they're getting 90 pitches. And then the guys that are upper tier level talent, they're getting around 100 pitches. But Trevor Bauer, he's in a league of his own. He's going 120 pitches pretty much a game. I think he's averaging 118 pitches. So really, you can add on an extra inning or two for him than what most guys get. I mean, I'm not surprised when he just goes 8 innings, because as long as his pitch count, as long as he's being decently efficient, he's gonna hit that 7-8 innings mark very easily. It's very rare. It's very rare for him to only get 5 or 6 innings in. So if we look at his numbers this year. Well, as you can see, he's my #1 projected pitcher, and he's got projected 26 points tomorrow, and the numbers aren't really that impressive for him, and really he's getting maybe a little bit lucky according to his ERA. He's got a 3.71 ERA, and his xFIP is actually sitting at 4.54, but he's just too talented of a pitcher to keep this up. I mean, his strikeout rate's at 26%, but the problem is he's back to walking guys. Last year he was limiting that, but this year the walks are back, and really he's just allowing a little bit more hard contact than what he usually does. I mean, last year he was limiting the power tremendously, but starting to creep back up this year. But he's got plenty of talent, and the thing we really like here is the matchup against Detroit. They really struggle versus right-handed pitching. 26% K rate and just low team numbers all around. And it's a pretty neutral park, but it's going to lean towards being a pitcher favor the pitchers. So I do like Trevor Bauer a lot, and I do like that pitch count. He gives us a nice floor there, especially for I like him in all formats, cash and GPP. And I do expect him to be the highest owned pitcher, because it's really not that hard to fit him in. And the next guy I want to talk about is Martin Perez at 7,300. I like the price here for someone who should pick up the win, and he has some nice strikeout upside versus KC. So KC's been striking out a decent amount versus lefties so far this season, and my model does like Perez a lot. Has him as one of the top projected value pitchers of the slate. And really, his numbers aren't too bad. 4.49 xFIP isn't the best, but 21% K rate's respectable for a guy that's 7,300. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but really it's just about the price and the matchup, and I do think he gets the win to boost his floor. So I don't think KC's too intimidating. But guys like Whit Merrifield and Mondesi do scare me, but overall I think it's a decent matchup. And then Chris Archer at 8,400. He's a wild man, but he does have upside. So this is a prime risk and risk-reward play for the matchup versus Miami. I do believe it is in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that. Yeah, it's in Miami, so that's a big boost for pitchers as well. So if we look at his numbers so far this year, he has a 5.7 ERA, but 4.8 xFIP. So, I mean, that's gross, but he does have that 23% K rate, but the thing with him is that walk rate. He's sitting at 11%. And he allows a lot of hits. He allows a lot of walks. So he's always going to have runners. He's always going to have traffic on the base paths. It's just we have to hope that he can strike the guys out. And but I do think his upside. He does have plenty of upside versus Miami team that doesn't usually pose a lot of threats to pitchers. As you can see, they had the lowest team ISO, lowest team WOBA, and the lowest team WRC plus on the entire slate. So I mean, if Chris Archer can't do it in this matchup, we're gonna have some problems here, especially in Miami's pitcher's park. So definitely Chris Archer, but he's pretty risky. But I do think the price justifies playing him in the matchup. And then if we go to catchers, Jason Cashier's leading the way, 4,300. Oh, if it sounds like I'm talking weird, there's like a cut on my tongue, so I'm trying to keep my tongue comfortable. But it's kind of hard right now. So 4,300, just another day, another twin stack for me. You guys know I love the Twins and love all the lefties versus Junis. Although both sides of the plate are viable, but I tend to like the lefties. Then Maldonado, pump play at 2,100. Then Yadier Molina at 3,400. I love all the righties versus Vargas, and the Cardinals do have a lot of righties. And at first base, speaking of Cardinals righties, Paul Goldschmidt 4100. Core play for me, facing a fly ball lefty that gives up a lot of power to righties. And he's probably going to be chalk. And like I said with Goldschmidt, besides that one time, I swear every time it seems like he's chalk, he does good. And then Joey Votto at 4K. I like all the Reds today versus Hirado and company. And that bullpen's not very good. And I know Vegas likes the Reds a lot today too as well. And then Derek Dietrich 4400. I swear he cheats at home. He's just like Yelich at home. He's on a whole different level. And he's got a ton of power versus righties this season and his career. And then Derek Dietrich already talked about second base. Jason Kipnis at 2500. This is just way too cheap for him. I know he's not that good, but I do like lefties versus Turnbull. And DK's giving way too much respect to Turnbull. As you can see, all these Indians prices are way down low, like they're playing like Max Scherzer or something. And Turnbull is not that good. So, and that bullpen is very bad as well. Then Cesar Hernandez, 3,600. Fulte's been awful this season, and he should be leading off versus him. And Fulte's been getting up home runs, so don't mind Cesar. He's a good high floor guy. And then at third base, Jose Ramirez, 3,400. So like I said, DK's just giving way too much respect to Turnbull, and these Indians are some really good, cheap one-off plays. I'm not really too interested in stacking up the Indians, but every time I stack the Indians, they suck. Every time I don't, they go off. So maybe we should stack the Indians. So just keep that in mind. And Josh Donaldson, 4K. Always like him versus lefties, although his numbers versus lefties this season are really bad. I think he's got like an 0.63 ISO versus them, but his career numbers would suggest otherwise. So I do think regression to the mean, which would mean it's coming up, is coming. Then Matt Carpenter, 4K. Don't shy away from the lefty on lefty matchup. Like I said, a lot of people are really scared to lose lefty on lefty matchups, like Charlie Blackmon tonight. I think he was like 4 for 5 versus a lefty. So don't shy away from these lefty on lefty matchups. And Carpenter has a really good BVP versus Vargas. No homers, but he's 6 for 7 versus him. So definitely sees him very well. And then at shortstop, we have Paul DeJong at 4K. Same reasons as Goldie, and that's a pretty good price for him as well. And then Didi Gregorius, 4,100. Yankees are in a great spot versus, I guess it's Despain, he just has terrible numbers all around, and that's my printer, and it's going crazy right now. So, hope it's all right. But Xander Bogaerts, 4,900. Been mashing lefties so far this season. He gets a fly ball one here in Means, although Means hasn't been terrible. But if you look at his numbers, he's been getting lucky. So let's take a look at his numbers really quick. So if we can find him. Okay, yeah, right here. John Means, he's 7,600, but he's got an ERA of 2.6. So if you look at that, you're going to be like, well, that's pretty amazing. But yeah, he's got an xFIP near 5, and that's like a 2.5 point difference. So I think regression's coming, and I think he's going to start getting hit. But as of right now, batters are struggling versus him, and his hard contact rate is only at 30.6%, so he's not allowing a lot of hard contact. So I mean, he's a respectable pitcher. He's not a gas can, but I do think he's getting pretty lucky right now. But he does have a really nice changeup, so I'll give him that. That changeup is very nice. All right, anyway, get back into this. It's not the right page. Okay, so I think we're in the high-priced outfield. JD Martinez, 5,400. He is on fire. He has 4 home runs in the past 3 games. I think that's right. I just did that off my top of my head from what I remembered. Now he's going to be facing a lefty, and we all know JD as the lefty smasher, one of the best in the league. I believe his ISO is around 500 this season versus lefties, so love JD if you can afford him, although I know that's going to be tough. And I know I don't have Mookie listed on here, but Mookie's in play as well. Just I'm a little bit mad at him from what he did today. And then Ronald Acuna, 5,200. Another guy I love versus lefties, and he's got that speed and power upside. Then Max Kepler, 4,900, the GOAT. You guys know my love for Kepler, and it's a great spot versus Junis. And in the mid-range outfield, Eddie Rosario, the same reasons as Kepler. Bryce Harper at 4,500. It's a decent price, and I like I said, Fulte has been terrible so far. And then I was running out of room, and I wanted to give you guys these 3 plays, so I listed them all together. So Michael Brantley, Jordan Alvarez, who's apparently the best hitter in the league, and Aaron Hicks. But seriously, Alvarez has looked very nice. And yeah, they're all mid 4K, and I love all the spots for these 3, Brantley and Alvarez going against Trent Thornton, pretty sure. He struggles versus lefties, and Aaron Hicks going against Despain. And then in the value outfield, we have Yasiel Puig at 4K. Rado's actually been worse versus righties, and Puig is the same way, so we got 2 reverse splits guys. And I always like these things. Like it was Trey Mancini the other night, and Drew reverse splits guys, and he had an amazing night. So we got Yasiel Puig again, and then Harrison Bader at 3,300, decently cheap in his good numbers versus lefties. If we go to some of the core plays here, I have Trevor Bauer. He's going to be my spend up, 11,200. I think we have 31 upside there. And then Paul Goldschmidt, 4,100. Then Jason Kipnis at 2,500. Packable weather, like I said, I retweet stuff on Twitter. It's just easier this way for the weather. And then the top stacks for me are going to be the Twins, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Reds, and the Cardinals. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video. Like I said, happy Father's Day. I enjoy the day. And remember, leave a like, share our channel. Really appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And I wish you guys the best of luck tomorrow.